Hey everybody, Greg here from IDM in the beautiful city of Cabot, Arkansas. Today I want to bring you another tip to help market your business. But first, share the love by following our Facebook page and heading over to our YouTube channel and subscribing to our Greg's Friday Tip Day series. And if you're behind on an episode, got you covered. Simply head over to idmarkansas.com and just click on the Greg's Friday Tip Day button and catch up on any episode that you have missed. The world has for sure changed. I'm not just talking about the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm talking about if you look back over the last 5 years, even if you exclude last year, the way that people are searching has absolutely changed. In the past, it was simple. Have your website listed on Google search at the top and you got calls. It was that simple. While a lot of things have changed, some of the words that we use like advertising has not really evolved or changed with the times. I probably got you pretty confused right now, right? Well, hang with me because we're going to go deep in this episode. What am I talking about is in the past, we used the word advertising to equal a one-to-one relationship, meaning we posted an ad on Google at the top, of course, and that click was delivered to our landing page, which generated a lead. Just like old school, you had a big ad in the yellow pages and you were the only person that got the calls because your ad was the biggest. In the past, advertising was that simple. You knew where your clients were looking because honestly, there was only one centralized source for the consumer to search for a service or a business. On Google, this was before the Google Map integration on the search engine result page. This was before the integration of Google Guarantee, not to mention additional PPC ads at the top where there only used to be 3 before. Even if that click didn't result in a lead being generated, more than likely you threw that visitor into a remarketing campaign, which basically is the 101 definition of a funnel campaign. Continuing to market to an individual that didn't convert into a lead by constantly reinforcing your brand to bring them back, which then would generate them as a lead. We see this all the time when it comes to Amazon. You're viewing a product on Amazon and the next thing you know it, that product is now following you around on your social accounts and other third-party websites. And I totally understand this because cart abandonment on e-commerce websites is actually pretty high percentage, like 70%. Now, I'm not dismissing the operation of funnels for lead generation because they actually do work. But here's where it differs from the normal definition of old school way of advertising. One of the first things that an advertiser will tell you is that you need strong calls to action to capture that lead, whether this is on a print ad or a website landing page. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with strong calls to actions. They do work. But nowadays, with so many search engine sources like Google, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and a ton more, how people are searching those platforms are all different. Not to even mention that even though the platforms are different, the people or the demographics on each one of those platforms are also different, and they all have their own unique way of searching and how they interpret data or your sales pitch. In the past, strong call to actions was enough to capture a lead, but in today's market, that's not always the case. So let me ask you this. Have you heard of soft touching calls to actions? This is kind of similar to remarketing and right up the alley of networking. Soft touching an individual 3 times, or 5 times, or 15 times with the goal of bringing them back as a lead. Soft touching is foreign to a lot of people. Most of the times when you think of advertising, you think of strong call to actions like free shipping or get a free quote. And those are good call to actions. However, as I mentioned, how people search has changed. Impulse buying or on-the-spot decision-making when it comes to an ad delivering a lead isn't as high from a percentage standpoint as it once was. And honestly, I think a lot of this has to do with Google, Yahoo, and even Bing. Pretty much those search engine giants are not as popular as they once were. Now, hang on. Yes, Google is still popular and the highest used search engine in the world, but we've seen a good percentage of people starting to switch over to private browsing search engines like DuckDuckGo. We have also seen, like I've mentioned in my last several episodes, how Instagram, Facebook, and even YouTube have become search engines in themselves. Instagram, for example, research shows that 60% of its 1 billion users say they discover new businesses on that platform. So with so many different types of search engines, demographics, how people search, what do? Well, we need to start switching our minds from the word advertising to brand building or networking. This is especially important on social media sites, which typically is billboard style advertising anyways. Using soft touching techniques like offering something they can download, like a free guide, or just giving away free info that helps build trust, which is the backbone of networking. Now, having that visitor convert into a lead right then would be great. But we have seen that building relationships or trust with your customers create a stronger connection and more long-term client, or as we say here at IDM, a relationship. So when you are looking at your advertising plan, be sure to also include soft touching, remarketing, networking, in addition to high-impact ad copy on search engines like Google. Just remember, at the end of the day, each platform's advertising needs to have its own strategy, because what works on one platform does not always work on the next platform. And offering quality content, custom branded graphics, showing how your business is different is always a good way to go. Again, this is Greg from IDM in the beautiful city of Cabot, Arkansas, wishing everyone safe days. And if we can help you with anything, and I truly mean anything, even if it's just a no-pushy brainstorming over the phone, give me a call anytime at 501-941-3645 or visit me online at idmarkansas.com. And let's start your journey now.